Hello, fellow Americans. My name is Jim Dahlman. Last week we talked about, or I talked to you about um, the overall plan, but not giving any details for the Constitutionalist Party. And today and the rest of this week, I'd like to go through it step by step, line by line, and make it real clear as to where we're going, what we want to do, and so that we're all on the same page. But first, I need to make some apologies and corrections. Last week I used a poor choice of words, and that is when I talked about the Constitutionalist Party and all the groups coming together, and I listed the Independent Party, Centerline America, the Tea Party, the disgruntled Republicans and Democrats. Well, I believe that left the idea that I had talked to the Tea Party groups or Tea Party at large, and I did not. So I want to make sure that it is clear that was intended to be an invite to all who were interested in the Constitutionalist Party having a plan to restore America and take it back. So my most sincere apologies to all and any Tea Party members, and especially and more in particular the Tea Party group. So I'm sorry that I misspoke, and appreciate your patience and your endurance in the matter. So the plan of the idea is that anyone interested in the Constitutional Party having a plan to restore America, those are the people I was inviting in. Of course, anybody who wants to come into the Constitutionalist Party certainly can do that. We welcome everyone. With that, then I need to go to another blunder I did last week, and that is I used the Vanderburg group. I did that twice, and it should be and is the Bilderberg group, and also the Trilateral Commission, which I didn't mention last week. So it is the Bilderberg group, and that is a group of 125 of the richest and most powerful men globally. And then there's the Trilateral Commission. I am not clear on the scope of that group, but they do work together, as I understand. And if you want to find more out about that, just go to your computer and pull up the Obama deception, and it will enlighten you about what's really going on. It will show you that the presidents are more puppet than rulers or leaders. And so keep that in mind as you listen to this, and also you'll see a kidnapping taking place, and it's on video, and it's hard to deny that that isn't what's happening. And so our leaders are guilty of that, which is what causes me to suggest or promote the idea of impeachment. And I read the Constitution to you last week, and Article 2, Section 4, where it says that our employees are obligated to impeach the president, vice president, and anyone else who is employed by America if they are convicted of any of these crimes, even a misdemeanor. So that's where that statement comes from as far as impeaching people or our president or anyone else under him. Now, again, to show that the Democrat and Republican Party are pretty much alike, and we've had these problems in the past, and we still have some that's never been brought up because they don't want to, apparently. But voter fraud, that's been a problem, and no one's addressed it. There's not been a bill. They haven't tried to make a law addressing that. Ballot counting. There should be a time limit after the polls close of 2, 3, 4 hours, not 2 or 3 days. So that created a lot of problems. We have a senator that probably wouldn't be senator today if that had been addressed beforehand. No one's put a bill forward for the conflict of interest voters, and there are about 50 million people who fall in that category, and those are the people on welfare. They receive their total sustenance and livelihood from the taxpayers. Well, they may pay taxes, but it's still tax dollars they're paying it with, so it's all tax dollars. And so no one's talked about that. Now, term limits for senators and congressmen. We have term limits for the president. It seems to me, in only common sense, that we would have term limits for senators and congressmen, but we don't. They are there for 30 and 40 years, and that gives them kind of the attitude and feeling that they're entitled, and no one's entitled to anything except our liberties and our freedoms that is God-given, and so they're not entitled to any of that. And so both parties do the same thing. We'll talk about, I mentioned ACORN. One put it in and the other, both of them are funding it year after year after year. And we had someone came on Fox News, if you will, a young gal and a guy posing as a prostitute and him as a pimp, and they still didn't pass a law to defund ACORN. It's still there, alive, well, and healthy. That's what we need to get done. We need to do defunding. And if defunding is kind of a hard word, well, that's what it is. Take our tax dollars away from them, defund it, and so they go away. Also, I mentioned hands-on. Hands-on, to define that, is watching how people vote, including the judges, how our senators and congressmen vote. If they don't vote constitutionally, pay attention and vote them out. That's our hands-on duty to get them out. We can't go sit next to them and tell them, no, do this and do that. However, we can vote them out of office. And we have thousands and thousands of people who are begging for our money, and they're there making deals and being paid with our tax dollars. And you know something? We should only have 535 of those people in Washington, D.C. Bidding for our votes, not money and special interests. So I will get into that and call it what it is here, probably in the next section. And then we have one more quick thing to say, and that is the project number 1. And that is, I touched on it if you'll go watch the Obama Deception, and that is convict those who are worthy of being convicted, and then they will be impeached. And kidnapping is a serious matter. If I did that or you did that, we would be in prison. That needs to happen if indeed it's found that they did do that. And also bribery, we all watch that go on over the Obamacare. And no one is, their own won't convict their own, simply because if they do, it would be a circular firing squad, and I don't know how many we would have left in Washington, D.C. by the time they all got done or finished covering their own bad deeds. So that's just, that'll have to do it for today. Again, my name is Jim Dahlman. Thanks for listening, and God bless you, and God bless America.